Hello everybody, this is Tim from Gauntlet Gear. I'm making a quick video here just in response to some questions that have been popping up regarding how to make molds and how to get the exact shape. What I've been working with here is a polyurethane. We're working with a 74-55, which is a liquid rubber. And first over here I'm going to show you what we're using as our materials. That's the actual products, and the cans on top are from the same box. There's the label if you can see that. Next we got some regular rubber gloves, some stir sticks, a random piece of wood which isn't part of this video. We've got a big rag for future usage. We've got a mixing container. They're $1 each at Dollarama. It's nice to have a nice clear one whenever you're working to start. And for mixing purposes, because we want to make sure we get it all 100% mixed correctly, we're going to be using, a mechanized mixing device. And what we're going to be doing today is working on these two blue guns here. We're going to be using the blue guns in the future for testing our holsters, but in the meantime we also need some things for making the molds themselves. Alright, and the last and final ingredient which I'd like to show you, and I'll just reach for this over here, is this poly-ease. Whenever you're using any type of polyurethanes, you want to use that kind of poly-ease. It's my understanding it's a silicone spray, and it will prevent things from sticking to your molding devices. Okay, and I'm going to show you a quick finished product just because we've got one sitting here already ready to go. And this is for a radio. In this case, what we did is we suspended a radio in a plastic bag inside of a plastic bag, as I mentioned, and it's basically hanging by a nail. That's all it started off in the container, and it's just a regular bulk food container, apparently from Ginger Slices. And once we had that just sitting in there resting nicely, what we did is just poured the polyurethane liquid into the container around it, and watch now as I'm just going to pop it out of the mold. And what we've created is a 100% exact mold copy, what we call a negative mold of that radio. And we're going to be using that to fill in later on with Alumilite, which is a plastic for molding. And we're going to have our proper mold. And of course our radio is nice and safe inside its plastic bag. So we're really happy with the outcome of this mold, and looking forward to showing you the results of that. I'm going to go ahead and mix some stuff here, so I'm going to have to put the camera down, but hopefully this makes a little bit of sense. I'll try to do a quick couple of shots at the end to show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the second part of the video. I've now got things into place, and I want to show you how we've got them mounted here. I've got the SIG 226 and the 1911 sitting in this big tray. This wooden block is just a filler because polyurethane ain't the cheapest thing, and, well, they're just filling the space so we don't have to use too much of it. Underneath these, we've got just a few 5/16 bolts which are going to just hold the pieces up off the ground. You can see one slipped out there. I'm going to fix that up after the video. And basically what that's going to do is lift up the guns off of the tray, which will allow the rubber to go underneath and create the proper four-sided mold. Now just next to it, we're looking a little bit different here. I've got two mags sitting inside of a cup, and for the same reason I just found a smallish vessel for them, and I'm going to reach in here and grab one out. You'll see I glued on a couple again of those 5/16 bolts. That's just for the balance to keep them so they're going to sit in there nicely. You see there's good space around all the sides of it, and because there's those bolts on there, we've been able to raise everything up. And the last important detail here is, again, the poly-ease, not to be understated. It just required, you'll see we got a nice shine on these ones over here. That's because this has already been done. You want to avoid pooling by putting too much poly-ease on there, but at the same time, you know, a midpoint where everything is coated is really required, especially on the detail parts. I'm just going to go over it again really lightly here. Okay, that's just a quick touch up, and I'm going to do the same thing with these mags. Alright, the next thing you should see is I'm going to have mixed it and poured it, and all being well, these things are going to be cast, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to make a video of them coming out, or perhaps a deposit of mold in a couple of days after that. Okay, here we go. Hi everyone, now just showing the final outcome here. We've got these two, in this case, blue guns sitting in the polyurethane, and over here a couple of blue mags as well. So there we go, and I look forward to showing you guys the outcomes.